Hi students, welcome back to Wisdom Academy YouTube channel. In the previous class, you have learnt about electric potential energy and equipotential surfaces. Today we will start the next topic, that is conductors and its properties. So you all would have heard about conductors from your very basic classes. What is a conductor? It allows the physical movement of charges through it. So now you have understood that even protons can move. They also produce current when it moves. So any material which allows the charges to flow through them is known as conductor. They are also called as non-electrics. You learn it, why it is called as non-electrics. And all the materials which do not allow the physical movement of charge through them are known as insulators. They are also called as dielectric. Dielectric term will be used very often in this context, right? Now we are going to discuss the properties of a conductor. So a conductor, we will talk about the properties of conductor in terms of electric field and potential. So when a conductor is kept in electric field, how it behaves and what happens inside that, we will discuss the properties in terms of that. So first property of conductor I have written is electric field or net electric field inside a conductor is zero. What I mean to say, you know how to produce electric field? If you keep a positive plate and a negative plate, then you get a electric field. Suppose I keep like this, then I get electric field in some direction. So in this electric field, if I keep a conductor like this, they are saying that the net field inside the conductor is zero. So when they find what is the electric field inside the conductor, they will find that this value is zero. Now why it becomes zero? Why it becomes zero? Suppose the electric field direction is here, the electrons will start moving on this side because electrons will move against the direction of electric field, and protons will start move on this side. All the protons inside the conductor, they will start move on this side, on the right side. So finally what you will see that this conductor, they have negative charge here, all the positive charge here. So they itself created an electric field in opposite direction to this direction. So a point will come when the electric field of this conductor will cancel out the electric field which is externally applied. That's the reason electric field inside a conductor is zero. Second property is net charge inside the conductor is zero. This is very simple, we can understand with the help of Gauss theorem, because we know that inside the conductor, if you draw a Gaussian surface, this is a conductor, I am talking about a charged conductor. Suppose it is a charged conductor like this, fully plus positive charge is there. If I want to find what is the net charge inside the conductor, so inside the conductor we know electric field is zero. Just now I have told you electric field inside a conductor is zero. When electric field is zero, we know that by Gauss theorem, phi is equal to q by epsilon naught, and phi is also is equal to E dot ds is equal to q by epsilon naught. So when electric field is zero, definitely charge also will be zero. So when electric field will be zero, there will be no net charge inside the conductor, right? Third thing, potential is constant inside and on the surface of the conductor. This point also I have discussed in the previous class, where I have told you that E is equal to minus dV by dr. So it says that inside the conductor, since electric field is zero, electric field can be zero only if V is constant, basic differentiation. So d by dx of any constant is zero. So V must be constant. That's why it is written that potential is constant inside the conductor and on the surface. So I have drawn a diagram for you like this. So until the radius becomes the radius of the sphere, the electric potential is constant, and after that it starts reducing, and it starts reducing inversely to the radius, because we know that V is inversely proportional to R. These things I have discussed already when I talked about electric potential. Then the fourth property is electric field is zero inside the cavity of a hollow charged conductor. Very important point, because this point has lots of application in the real life. So what happens, suppose there is a conductor, it is fully charged, okay, but inside this conductor there is a small cavity which has no charge. So when there is no charge, again by applying Gauss law, if you draw a Gauss surface here, since the charge enclosed is zero, electric field will also be equal to zero. So whenever there is a cavity inside a hollow, inside a charged conductor, the electric field will be zero there. This property is also known as electrostatic shielding. Electrostatic shielding. I hope that many of you would have heard one thing, that is, whenever there is a lightning is striking and you are going somewhere, you are on the road, then if you are inside the car, many people in panic, they try to come out of the car because they think if the lightning strikes on the car, I will die there itself. But it is not like that. When you are inside a bus or when you are inside a car and lightning strikes you, you are the most safest inside the car, because car is a conductor, it is a metallic body, it is a conductor shape. So conductor, you inside the car is like you are in the cavity of the conductor. So inside the cavity there is no electric field. So you are the safest inside the car. So please, in this kind of situation, don't try to come out of the car, because when you are inside the car, by the principle of electrostatic shielding, you are safe from the external electric field, right? This is one of the applications of electrostatic shielding. This is also known as Faraday's cage. Some of you would have heard this term, Faraday's cage. So Faraday's cage is nothing but electrostatic shielding, where the net electric field inside the cavity of a charged conductor is zero. So if someone asks you what define electrostatic shielding, it is the net electric field being zero inside the cavity of a charged conductor, right? So after talking about the conductors, insulators and the properties of conductor, now we will talk about the capacitance of a conductor. So capacitance is the capacity of any conductor to hold a charge. Why we are supplying charge to any conductor? We are supplying charge to any conductor to store the charge inside it. So what happens when you supply charge in a conductor? The capacity of the conductor to hold the charge is known as its capacitance. I will write it for you. It is the capacity of any conductor, or I should write specifically insulated conductor to hold charges. So we know that potential, whenever we will supply charge to any conductor, it will increase its potential. Why? Because we know potential is equal to K into Q by R. So as Q will increase, its potential will increase. So as Q increases, the potential also increases. I can write in other terms that Q is proportional to V. Since Q is proportional to V, I can remove the proportionality and add a constant, and that constant is called as capacitance. This is known as capacitance. So capacitance can be written as Q by V, that is charge per unit voltage. Now what is the SI unit of charge? It is volt, it is coulomb, and voltage, it is volt, it is voltage. Coulomb by voltage, it is known as farad. So 1 farad is equal to 1 coulomb by 1 volt. So 1 coulomb by 1 volt will give you 1 farad. So what is the SI unit of capacitance? It is farad. SI unit of capacitance is farad. After the scientist Faraday, it has been named as farad. But hardly we use farad anywhere. We always use very small units of farad called as millifarad, microfarad, even nanofarads. Millifarad will be 10 to the power minus 3 farad, micro will be 10 to the power minus 6 farad, and nano will be 10 to the power minus 9 farad. Why we go for these small units of farad, you will understand in this video itself. Now let us see what is the capacitance of an isolated spherical capacitor or conductor. So suppose I have an isolated spherical capacitor which is having uniform charge distribution. It can be positive or negative, anything which you want to do. So let this capacitor have a radius R. Now what would be its potential? Its potential at the surface will be equal to K Q by R. Am I right? Now this K is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, as all of you may know. We know the formula of capacitance. So since capacitance is equal to Q by V, here in this case I am taking small q as a charge. So I can write capacitance is equal to Q by V. What is V? V is K into Q by R. Q gets cancelled. So I get C is equal to R by K. What is K? 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. So I will get capacitance is equal to 4 pi epsilon naught R. This is the value of capacitance for a spherical capacitor. Now you will understand why I said 1 farad is not used much. We use only milli, micro, nanofarads, because let us find what is the capacitance of any conductor which is holding a capacitance of 1 farad. Let us try to find what is the size of the conductor. So, the thing is, we are finding size of conductor which has 1 farad capacitance. Okay, let us try to find the size. Size I am telling in terms of radius. So, C is 1 is equal to 4 pi epsilon naught r. So, r will be is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, and we know this value is 9 into 10 to the power 9 r, so meters. So, radius of a sphere which can hold 1 farad of charge is 9 into 10 to the power 9 meter. You know what is the radius of the earth? You would have studied in your junior classes. It is, radius of earth itself is 6400 kilometer. I can write 6400 into 10 to the power 3 meter, or I can write 6.4 into 10 to the power 6 meter. Can you compare these two? So, radius of earth is 1500 times lesser than this value. You can see here approximately 1500 times lesser than this. So, to hold one capacitance of a capacitor for 1 farad of capacitance, we need such a huge capacitor. So, you can understand why we never talk about 1 farad, rather we only talk about 1 milli, micro or nano, small units of farad. Now, we will talk about capacitor and its principle. What is a capacitor? I said about capacitance. So, capacitor is obviously a conductor, isolated conductor, which is storing charge, in turn storing energy. I tell you what I am trying to say. So, it is a conductor which is storing some energy by storing some charge. I will tell you what I am trying to say. Suppose there is a conductor like this. What I do, I supply some charge to it. Suppose I am supplying positive charge. Positive charge I am supplying. This positive charge enters. It was neutral in nature. I supplied some excessive positive charge. It went and it entered here. Okay. This 4 what I sent, it got entered. Now, I send another 4 charge. Now, when I will try to send this another 4 positive charge, will it be easy for this 4 charge to go? Yes or no? Yeah. Why? Because as you try to push this 4 charge, these 4 charges present inside the conductor will start repelling this. So, in order to make this 4 charge to go inside, I need to do some extra work. That work what I am doing to make it push inside, that will be stored inside the conductor as energy, because we know that work done is nothing but its energy. Now, I send 4 more charge. For sending these 4 more charge, I will have to do more energy than previously what I have done. So, as I keep on doing this, the energy what I am trying to bring inside the conductor keeps on increasing, because I am doing more and more work to supply the charge inside, and that is what capacitive doing work is. Capacitance, and this capacitor is start getting charged. I told you the charge is increasing, the potential is also increasing. Will it affect the nearby? Initially it will not affect, because everything is neutral. Suppose I am assuming it to be air. Air is a bad conductor, it is an insulator. So, and it is neutral in nature. So, definitely it will have minus and plus, minus and plus. So, this definitely will not affect it. So, it remains like keeps on filling, keeps on filling. The question is there any limit to it, or can we fill infinite charge inside the conductor? Let us talk about that. So, what happens when the charge keeps on increasing inside this conductor, keeps increasing, keeps increasing, keeps increasing, there is a huge positive potential created here. Now, this huge positive potential created here will try to attract this negative. So, when I am putting, suppose 1 plus is going, it reaches its limit, 1 plus is going, it will attract this negative, and this negative comes out and gets neutralized. So what happens? This positive and this negative gets over. This positive entered here, and while entering, this positive left, and this becomes positive charge. So two things are happening. One thing is, what positive I am giving does not change the potential of this, but it ionizes this plus. So in a way I can say that what plus I supplied here, that plus came here. I hope you understand what I am trying to say. Second charge is going. Second charge, when it is going, again the second charge vanishes off, because this second positive charge will get neutralized by this, and then when it gets neutralized, this will become positive. So a time will come when I will start having positive field here around. So some people will also name it as leakage of charge. Leakage of charge. And why it happens? Because it has reached its capacity, and further increasing its potential is ionizing the nearby medium present. And at what voltage it happens? That voltage is called as breakdown voltage. Breakdown voltage. So what is the definition of breakdown voltage? It is the voltage at which the capacitor reach its limit and starts ionizing the nearby medium. I am talking about air. It may be some other medium that starts getting ionized. So air, it has the breakdown voltage of something near to 3.5 into 10 to the power 6 or 8 volt per meter. That is the breakdown voltage, or sometimes it is also called as dielectric strength. So what is the strength of this insulator? That is called as dielectric strength. So after this much supply of voltage, what is given from the conductor, the air will start getting ionized. So this is called as ionization of the medium. It happens when the charge starts getting leaked out. That is about basic introduction of capacitor. Now we have to talk about its principle. So for talking about its principle, I will take one small example of two plates. There are two parallel plates, and let one plate be charged plate. Let us have positive charge around it. This is charged plate and this is neutral plate. This charged plate, let us assume it has a potential of 10 volt. When you bring a neutral plate in influence of this charged plate will start inducing some charge. So what will happen? Here I will have negative charge and here I will have positive charge getting induced. Right? Since it is present little far from this, we know that V is equal to KQ by R. As the distance is increasing, there will be some potential, but that potential will be less than this potential. So let us assume here I have got a potential of 6 volt, and definitely here it will be little lesser than that. This will be minus 6 volt and this will be, let us assume, plus 4 volt. So initially I had 10 volt, okay. Now it became 10 minus 6 plus 4, that is equal to 8 volt. So this 10 volt of this plate, charged plate, turned to be 8 volt. We know that Q is proportional to, actually I told the formula, C is equal to Q by V. So as the V will go down, capacitance will go up. Do you get me? So as the voltage becomes less, the capacitance become high. I'll do one more thing. Now what I do, the same plate, I provide some earthen. So here there was negative charge, here I had 10 volt, here I had minus 6 volt. This plus 4 volt is actually earth by earthen. Now what is the net voltage remaining? 10 minus 6, that is 4 volt. Now the V has come further down, so C will get further up. So if you want to increase the capacitance of a capacitor, you must reduce its potential. And how we do that? We do that by bringing a neutral plate near to a charged plate, and to further increase the voltage, we must earth it. So earthening of a neutral plate will further increase the capacitance of a capacitor. This is the principle behind any capacitor, and with this I end my today's session, in which we talked about conductors, insulators, properties of conductor, and then we talked about capacitance, its SI unit, we talked about capacitance of a spherical capacitor, and now we talked about capacitor and its principle. So, thank you. Please like this video, share with your friends and subscribe the channel.